Kevin. Thank you for tuning. I'll be back. A little bit technical difficulty there. So, first broadcast from the new location. Um, appreciate you, Lee. Thanks for pointing that out. It does it does feel a little better now that you click the right buttons, right? Now the sound should be coming through. Give me a thumbs up if that's the case. Let me see here. But we're gonna get into it. Give me one moment. All right. All right, cool. Ready to go. Okay, so where we started off at, again, thank you, Lee. Peace, fam. It's good when people look out for you and let you know when things aren't right so you can get it corrected, all right? All right, so now we're going to start back over from the top. We're only a few minutes into it. Let's go over and recap. So first of all, we want to start with this this article here. So what it states is why small business owners are optimistic about 2024 revenue, but not the economy, right? And I think this is kind of a very oxymoronic statement because you can't be, you can't say, you know, like I made a joke in the first video that you didn't hear apparently, but I was like, the wrinkled shirt gang, you know, we pay attention to details, but all except for the clothes that we have on and the keptness of our beard. You know what I mean? We pay attention to a lot of details, the ones that matter, right? So you can't say you're optimistic about the source of the funding, but yet not about the economy. It's kind of hypocritical, right? So it's saying here that nearly 2/3, I think I got a little echo here. Let me turn the mic down some. I think that might be a little better. So nearly 2/3 of small business owners, 65% expect their revenue to increase over the next 12 months, according to Bank of America, right? So the interesting thing is you have to consider who's writing the article, right? So it shows here Bank of America annual business owner report released Wednesday, per whenever this article was. Let's see here. This was, I know it's recent, May 1st. Okay, so the beginning of this month. All right. So when asked how their businesses fared last year, 55% of small business owners said that the revenue came in higher than 2022. Now, I want you to keep in mind that it's easy to make that claim when the pandemic had everything shut down, right? Like nobody was doing anything. Very few people was doing anything. So that doesn't mean, they said, that they think the country overall is faring well. Okay. And I want you to know that that's important, because if you're a company, a business, and your clients are struggling, then that means that chances are you're struggling too, because if the cash flow, capital, income, revenue has been restricted to them, then they're going to have less pull to push through and circulate in the economy, which means that you may have less flowing to you as well. Okay, so we have to be considerate of beyond ourselves, all right, for it to make sense, or else things will, like, they won't make sense. They won't be as obvious, because you may not realize that you're being self-centered, and that's why it doesn't make sense. So let's get into today's business at hand. Give me one moment here. It's good to be back. All right. So what we want to get into today is we want to look at CRMs, okay? Because CRMs actually appear to be really good. They appear to be really beneficial. And again, like I said, for those just joining, uh, shout out for Lee. Uh, he was able to connect me with the comments and the messages and let me know that the audio wasn't coming through. So we are starting the video over as we were only a few minutes into it, so that you guys can make sure you get the information. And I appreciate people like him that let you know when things aren't right. So thank you, Lee. All right, so CRMs, right? Because how do you want to become a competitive edge or become a competitive in the market that you're in? A lot of people turn to tools, okay? But the issue with the CRM tool is that if we were to get rid of it, here's what would happen. We would probably experience some better personal interactions. You will most likely have less privacy concerns. Generally speaking, there'd be less manipulation, and overall, probably be the greatest period of trust since social distancing, right? So, why is that? It's because, well, the way social or CRM is set up to is not okay. So here's where I got, as you see scrolling below. Entrepreneurs' opportunities begin with the creation of new and improved products and services. What we know is that there is a stagnation of new ideas, right? You know what I mean? Cuzzo's got chicken and waffles. So do bozos. You know what I mean? So do McDonald's great come out with chicken and waffles. Everybody's got chicken and waffles. The question is, what makes your chicken and waffles better? And then at that point, you start running out of things to say that makes your chicken and waffles better. So then you start to say, but our relationship is best. But our relationship is the healthiest for you. But me and you being connected is what it's all about, right? Because you don't ran out all the other descriptions to say why your product is better. So now you just gotta go, our relationship is what makes it best. All right. And this is where CRM comes into play, especially on large corporations, because now many companies are focusing on the relationship as a product or service. I like to look at it as the illusion of feeling like the company knows you and appreciates you. And it feels great. You get these little things sometimes until you reach the point where you feel like your phone is spying on you. And then you become concerned. All right. So all things that are not genuine at some point begin to feel abusive. Can we agree with that? Right? All right. All right. Thanks, Lisa. I got the hot mic now. Okay, we in business. I appreciate that. All right. So with that being said, right, this is what the companies are doing. This is what happens when companies prioritize relationships over their, I use the word genuineness or genuine. Most of society is going to call it authentic. Go check the video that actually defines the difference for you on YNet 7. But when the companies prioritize relationships over actually coming up with new products and inventions, this is where we wind up, okay, as a society. All right, so let's take a look at that. I got some details here. Let's get it in. Let's get started. All right, so CRM, right? For those that don't know what it is, it's basically companies use CRM systems to manage and nurture the relationships with their customers. These systems help track customer interactions, preferences, and purchase histories, allowing companies to personalize their offerings and provide better customer service. At least that's the way it's sold to us, So what happens is, like I said, that's the illusion that the company knows and appreciates you. An example of what happened in a real space and time of the gift and the curse of it would be Target's predictive analytics. For those who aren't familiar, Target had or had their CRM operating, and there was a teenager that was searching, I guess, pregnancy related stuff or whatever, right? She hadn't told her family or anything like that. And Target's analytics actually picked up on it. So much so to the point that it mailed her, through its process, it mailed her baby coupons, baby related coupons. And this is how her family, her father and mother, found out that she was pregnant as a teenager. Now, that's a great example of thumbs up for it working in what some may seem as a positive light. The parents were now informed and notified of, what was going on that they didn't know. Now take that and tell me, how intrusive would that be, that level of detail in your current life right now, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, right? Know that the same way it picked up on that, it's basically studying everything about you right now in real time. Okay. So the use of inferred information from analytics can feel like an intrusion into your personal life, and that causes discomfort. Now, that's one way. Okay. That's one way to be competitive in the market, is through CRM. Okay. Now, healthy alternatives to that is going to be, think about this through this whole video, transparency, just simply being transparent. Like, Posh, why you get on here and be social media and be telling all your business? Is because I'm transparent. Transparency is really important to me. I think companies should be clear about who they are, what they're doing, the data they collect, how they use it, what they're doing with your funds. When you go to work and your boss says he wants you to hit 200% goal this month, if you ask him why or her why, do you feel like you can ask them why? Do you know what your effort is going to? Simon Sinek says, start with why, right? If you let them know why, it makes you more compelled to perform. If the church does it all the time, right? We need to pass this plate around because a second time. And you're like, what the fuck? And it's like, because we need a roof fund. We're going to have a roof offering, right? We've got the basic offering done for today, at least offering number 1 of 6. So now we're going to add number 7, and we're going to do the roof fund, because the roof is leaking and it's hitting the kitchen pots. And, we cook a lot here. So what we want to do is fix the roof so that we can have safe and clean meals when we serve them to you without the roof leaking into the pots too. You know what I mean? They'll let you know why, right? And then you feel so much more better about contributing your 7th offering. Just like if you were an employee and you've already worked your 40 hours a week, you might feel better about doing some overtime or going and hitting 150% goal that month. All right. So that's the nature of it. Start with why. Now, consent, limited data collection, having secure data, and authentic relationships. All this is going to be healthy alternatives for CRM, right? Now, another way companies are looking to sell you or show you value or benefit in a relationship is going to be subscription-based services. Okay. Many companies are offering subscription-based services where the customer pays a recurring fee to access exclusive content, products, and services. PlayStation and Xbox probably have this on lock right now, and you may or may not realize that that's what your youth is participating in. Okay. So subscription-based services. Now, social media engagement is another one. Everybody's got a big buzzword on social media content and creation, engagement, stuff like that. We already know about that. Even if you don't know all the details, you know about it. So we don't got to spend a lot of time on it. Customer loyalty programs, again, is a way of selling the relationship. All right. Personalized marketing. So here's where the CRM comes into play, because all of this is connected with CRM. Right? Because a lot of the information and details and data they're getting to create these funnels and opportunities are done through some sort of customer relationship management software, SEO, whatever, keyword optimization, whatever, right? So personalized marketing, companies are using the data analytics and customer insights to deliver personalized marketing messages, which is why you get these emails and text messages and stuff after you check stuff, or you look at things, because they're watching you. And then about, you've seen the videos, you probably had the conversations with friends and family, you're talking about socks, and then later on that evening you get a promotion for buy 2 pair of socks, get 1 free. And it's only because it heard you. You didn't even search it. It actually heard you speaking to your coworker or your family member in the car while you're traveling, talking about socks, and it solicits you the offer on socks. That's personalized marketing connected with the CRM and the all-seeing eye and hearing of Echelon network. And boom, now you have the infinite spy web, okay, on your life. But by tailoring their communications to individual customers' preferences and needs, companies aim to build stronger relationships and increase customer satisfaction that way, right? So, an interesting way that I want you to consider is also partnerships and collaborations. Think about how many companies you see coming together in different ways, joining forces and collaborating and telling you it's going to be best for you, right? Even in your own small business. So it leads to enhanced customer experience, right? When it's done well, partnerships can lead to better value added offerings and expanded audience reaches. Audience reach itself being expanded is one. So the collaborations can draw attention from new customer bases, give you more credibility in areas where you weren't reaching before. There's a mutual benefit or business advantage, like partnerships allowing startups to gain market position and larger companies to leverage technologies, advanced technologies and stuff. And you saw this with Coca-Cola and Winolo. That was a partnership where Winolo was incubated within Coca-Cola's founders program, right? Which is designed to foster like startup, designed to let startups tackle the real world challenges, right? So what Winolo was able to do with the insights and the market information that Coca-Cola had was basically, it was catalytic to their growth and development. Okay. So when Nolo achieved significant growth, it was able to raise $60 million in funding and has built a substantial database of over 300,000 job seekers since then. And 2 things. One, for everybody with the small business right now, look at this information here on Winolo. When you go check it out, they have 65 employees approximately, at least per this information, across the United States, and 70 across the Philippines and Vietnam. So what's that? Roughly 130, 140, 150 people, right? And they have access to over $60 million in funding. So no matter who you are, no matter how big or small your business is, this is the way we should be thinking. All right. You can have a few people and you can have flow coming through your business and brand of $60, $100 million if and when we start doing this right. All right. So companies can actually come together, create collaborations, and do better than just take photos for Facebook. Okay. We can actually build stuff through our collaborations. So innovations and fresh perspectives come from collaboration. And I want to emphasize the power there, because a lot of the reason why the state of the nation, whether you believe it's the United States or it's America, a lot of the reason why the issues we're facing today is because there was a period not too long ago where America didn't value America. What it took to mean this was made in America, this came from America, my neighbor built this. And we started to want to be satisfied by cheap, right? Um, and that sounded good for a minute because you could go to the store, you can get more for less. But then what it created was the disgust and distaste for saying, hey, my neighbor charges $500 for this, but I can go to Walmart and get it for $385. So people started seeing the value in going and get it for $385, not realizing that $115 difference a few years down the road would mean that they can't get it anywhere in their community if they needed it to. Because eventually everybody that was doing it in the community went out of business. So now that product, that service, that quality, that innovation, that genius is no longer available in our communities. We have to get it from Walmart, which is now doing everything it can to make it as cheap as possible, which not only means that you can only get it from Walmart, but it's going to be as cheaply made and as poor quality as possible, because then you have to keep going back to Walmart to get it over and over again every time it fails, breaks, and you need to replace it because it wasn't quality to begin with. This is the effect of, you heard me say it 100 times here, the humble campaign. Okay? The humble campaign, the word humble, etymology, is not proud. Okay? And people confuse often the word proud with pride. So proud means noble, excellent, and splendid. So for humble, not proud means we're focusing on getting rid of the noble, excellent, and splendid things in our community lives. All of the noble, excellent, and splendid people, places, and things in our community. And that's why we wake up one day and say, hey, we have nothing to be proud of here. And we have to now work to rebuild noble, excellent, splendid people, places, and things so that our communities can once again feel proud, if that makes sense. All right. And that's really what Posh has been doing all this time. And you don't make a lot of friends that way because why? Because remember, Walmart wants you to buy cheap and poor quality so you can keep buying over and over again. And then you have people like Lee and myself speaking about, hey, we're going to do this quality. We're going to do it right. We're going to get to you the first time. You're going to be all set. And that's against the rest of the world's money-making scheme, right? So again, the illusion of personalization and privacy invasion comes from CRM. All right. The manipulative relationships and abuse, when companies prioritize the illusion of knowing and appreciating you as their customer. They do all of this work to say how we know you, and then they call you. When you call them, they ask you for your account number. They don't know shit about you until they pull up their file. So, and then what's in their file is limited by the person that they had there that was screening you, talking to you, and the notes they added. So they only know based on you the perception of someone else, right? Were they having a good day? Is the company treating them right? Do they pay them enough? All of that's going to determine what your profile really looks like when they pull it up. Was the person that took notes on you having a bad day that day? So when the next person calls in or looks at your account when you call in and it's got these notes on there talking about how much of an asshole you are, it could be just that the company wasn't paying the employee before you enough. They were late for their break. You were asking questions, wanting to know about your account, pushing them 5 minutes beyond their lunch. And the company has a policy that no matter what time they go to lunch, they have to be back at this time. So they were upset that you were upset because you didn't know what you were supposed to know, because you didn't know because the company never told you, because nobody really, you see what I'm saying? This is the mess that we're in right now, because everything is trying to be automated and pretending to be, we know you and 10 million customers are all this stuff, right? You can't, this is why you call and you get 2-hour wait times now because they don't even have enough people to answer the phone anymore, because they found out during the shutdown that why do we have 10,000 people answering the phone? People are willing to hold for 5 times as long because they don't have a choice. All right. You can't go to the store. You got to call customer service because there is no more stores. There is no, when I say store, I mean physical location. Right. but they want you to feel like the relationship is there. Now think about these with the connections you have online, your social media, your business relationships. You see similarities, right? You got to decide what you're going to do with that, because the impact on society, the weaponization of CRM systems against the general population, particularly those who have not studied this effect, are far-reaching and quite have many consequences. Okay, so erosion of privacy, ethics, data collection and usage, and the potential for manipulation and abuse in customer-company relationships are all present because we want to be cheap in our relationships, right? How many times have you got a friend request from someone you didn't know, and you didn't put in the effort to know them, and you denied the request or you ignore it? How many times have you went to send someone a friend request and Facebook says, hey, it looks like you don't know this person. You're not able to send them a friend request. And I don't know about y'all, but I'll be in there kicking Facebook's ass like, yo, man, this is, of course, it looks like I don't know this person. That's why I'm sending them the friend request, because I want to get to know the person. Or at least have the opportunity to get to know the person. And that's when it dawned on me, the wordplay of may. May is allowing you or giving you permission. So when you see on your Facebook page where it says people you may know, replace the word may with authorized. Here's the list of 5 to 10 people that you are now authorized to know per Facebook. And then now you tell me that social credit score hasn't been here already. See, you're now authorized to know these people. Nope, you may not know this person here. That's the person you wanted to get to know, right? But no, you can't connect with them, because we think if you connect with them, you might become too successful, or you might do this for the community, or they might learn something we don't want them to know. You don't know why they're telling you you're unauthorized to connect with them. You just know that you're not allowed. All right, their CRM said no. Okay, so let me see here. What else I got here? I got some more stuff. So things are being weaponized. In order to get back to a healthy situation, we may need to remove the CRM aspect from our life. A lot of people don't realize that they're doing the same thing in the real world, because many people don't get that what's done online actually controls the real world. Meaning, when they tell you they're not going to allow your post in a group, and they give you these fake reasons why, because they just don't like you, and they tell you your post isn't allowed because it said this or did that when it didn't. They just hit the button and it's a generic response. This is what people do in the real world. When the fake news was an issue, you had people before talk about, where'd you get that? The internet? And it's like, don't you know the internet is like the library? So you didn't go to a library when you were a kid, younger, back in the day, whatever it was, when libraries were the thing. You didn't realize in a library that there's fiction and nonfiction, and it's up to the researcher to determine through cross-referencing the value of the information, right? Oh, you see, so they're able to control the mentality online, which bleeds into the real world. And this is how you're being conditioned. And this is how AI has already been affecting the way people around you look, think, and feel for the last couple of decades before the AI became a buzzword. All right. So we need to get rid of that. Let's recap real quick. Eliminating. Here, let me do it like this. Eliminating CRM could help your personal interactions. All right. They could become more genuine. It can make privacy better, help restore it. It could decrease manipulation, and it could increase trust. All right. Now, CRM systems are not inherently bad, but like most technology, it isn't too long before it's weaponized against the general population, right? Because of corruption, if nothing else. So what we were looking for, though, the healthy alternatives, is full transparency. Be transparent with your customers. If you're going through something, if you're having a bad day, if you're working towards a goal, speak about it, share it. You'd be surprised. People be like, why did you put such and such on Facebook or online? And I'd be like, you know what? Because, a lot of people be like, hey, you should keep that quiet because you don't want people to know what you're working on because they'll sabotage you. You've heard that before. And I'd be like, I know. Isn't that great? And they're like, what do you mean? And this is where you get into the genius aspect of things. I'm like, yeah, it's great that if you put it up there and the people that are going to hate on you might try to sabotage it, because then it gives you the opportunity to pivot or build a more robust version of it, because you've been introduced to the sabotorial aspects or the failure mode effect analysis potential before the actual failure in real life. So if you kept it a secret and you built this out and you did it all, you got it all what you thought was up and working and running, and you put it out there in the world, and then it collapses 6 months after launch because of stuff you didn't consider, now you got a real problem. Well, if you're in the developmental phases and you're building and growing it organically, remotely, and then people don't want to see you succeed and they get together and conspire and sabotage it, now you realize before you get to that point, okay, I need to make it more robust in this area and that area. I need to do something here about this. And now you can refine the process. So what your haters don't realize is that they now become part of the process. Or what you're not realizing is how to DEI your haters too and make them feel inclusive, right? Let haters hate. Let them do their thing, because it's only going to help you in the long run if you have the eyes to see and the mind to know. So I enjoyed it. I put that stuff out there quick because it lets you become stronger faster, right? All right. So any of these things and these topics, with me being who I am, I'm able to help, because the process optimization, the project management background, the marketing, all that stuff is what I do, and it can be used in conjunction with CRM, or it can be used, like we said, to make a healthier alternative lifestyle for you and your business and brand in the CRM world today. So, for example, optimize customer engagement. You already seen, if you're following me on Facebook, if you're following me online, anywhere, you've already seen the pilot programs that I released that displayed, industry is accepting that 0.5% to 1% in content engagement is what they call good engagement. You've already seen I'm delivering in some cases up to 29-30% content engagement. That's 30 times or 60 times the rate of the industry, right? That's saying it's good. Tailored subscription models. You want someone like me to come along and build the psychology for the small business to create your subscription-based service, so that it's appealing but also attuned to the needs and desires of your customers. All right. You're going to want to have your enhanced social media presence, not just being online. That does nothing nowadays. You want to enhance it. You want to know why each step you're doing, each move you're doing. So leveraging your knowledge of your consumer, I can help you there, right? Add the psychology-driven loyalty programs, or add psychology to the loyalty-driven programs, because a lot of times we do things, we charge based on what we believe it's worth to us. And I talk to a lot of business owners, and they don't know what it's worth to the customer. They're operating, they're doing things based on what they believe it's worth to them. And in a lot of cases, there's a huge gap there that could be capitalized on, and that makes you more sustainable. And if you're more sustainable as a company, a business, and a brand, that means you're going to be there long term, so that the community can become sustainable around you, and vice versa. When you look at Pepsi, They paid $1.2 million for their logo. If you came to them, now think about this in the community, in the hood, in the streets, and wherever. You doing logos for $1,000. Somebody comes and says, just solely to undercut you, they're gonna do it for they're gonna say they do it for $100, right? And you're gonna have these certain mentalities go run and get the $100 logo, and then, like we said about the Walmart, they'll be back next year to get another $100 logo because they'll feel like they need to change it. It's not right, something, and then they do that 10 years, and next thing you know, they spent $1,000, probably a little bit more because it goes up each time. So maybe they spent $1,500 over 10 years. But meanwhile, the person spent $1,000, their logo lasts a lifetime, right? If you went to Pepsi and said, "Hey, I'll do your logo," Pepsi spent $1.2 million. If you went to Pepsi and said, "We'll do your logo for $50,000," they wouldn't even entertain you, because Pepsi's investing in risk mitigation. They know they're going to pay more to get it done right, and they don't want the confusion of having multiple, logo changes on their soda cans while they're trying to build and grow and maintain the audience. But you got to know that as a business owner, who is your audience? Are you looking to build? Are you looking to build and support people who are conscious of that and know what they're doing and know who they're going, that certain level of consciousness and knowledge of what's going on? Or are you servicing people who don't know, who haven't reached that maturity yet? All right. So personalized marketing strategies, if you're looking at developing them, I'm your guy. I got people in the network that actually, let's say, produces all this stuff physically, like maybe I know someone right now I can connect you with that does mailings, postcards. Brian, we can work together in collaboration. There go that word again. Excuse me. And collab and develop the psychology, and then bring Brian in to actually produce the tangible products and put them in the mail and provide that service. See, that's why I built my network. I'm not out here competing. I'm collaborating. And, you see me, we up and down, we take falls and we climb up fast. But that's why, because when they see you doing what you do this way, and it's not the way they do it, you're a threat to them. So I want you to become more threatening. All right. I want to help you become more of a threat, because that sounds crazy, but in the hindsight, what do they say? Oh, the product was so successful because it was disruptive. See, if you're not being disruptive, that means you haven't innovated nothing. You haven't created nothing new. You're just modifying what already exists. So let's get our minds together, our brainstorming, our power, our energy, and let's become disruptive. Okay? More disruptive. Let's increase the disruption. All right? Matter of fact, you should disrupt 10 people's day to day with this video, by sharing the link. Okay? Because strategic partnerships and collaborations, your role in facilitating that can help small businesses gain market position and leverage even technological advances. So you can guide them in selecting partners that align. I can help with that. Innovative branding and marketing, you already know we do that here, Pasha Paro. And access to new audiences, we talked about that earlier. Cost-effective growth, right? Overall, building brand trust, making you the center of the know, like, and trust world. All right. So you see my resume there. A lot of people are fans of putting up these little certificates and tell you I graduated from such and such, and I laugh at that because to me, what it tells me is that you paid someone 30, 40, 50, 120,000 a year for confidence. And you still don't know what you're doing in many cases. And you still gonna go somewhere and start a job and have to be trained. And it's interesting that people do that. Uh, now I'm not, go check the video I did on it by the IP factor, making you a product of the institution that you came from, and that's what the companies are buying, not you. But I'm a fan of getting paid to learn versus paying to say I learned. And when you look at my background, I learned that powerful companies spend billions of dollars on information, and I can go in and learn it all, or as much as possible in the time period I'm there, while getting paid to learn. So those people that had their nose up in the air against us that don't have degrees, or I've accomplished everything they did and more, and they can claim the fame that they spent $400,000 on education, but I got billions of dollars worth of knowledge that they don't have. All right, so work with me, because you'll get billions of dollars of added value, or you can get someone who, well, they can show you a certificate. All right, so Pasha Pavo, remember the buzzword for the day this week is disruptive. Send this video around. Let's disrupt people, because disruption is innovation. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy.